Hi, welcome to Just Common Sense. My name is Brian Harrison, and I got the amazing, the incredible Jerry on the other line tonight again. Let's give him an applause. Yes, Jerry. Everybody loves to see you here. So, how are you doing, Jerry?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be twins, but I don't think that'd be fair to do to you.
I know. Jerry's the good-looking one. Anyway, guess what we're going to be talking about tonight, guys? You already know it. Jerry already knows it. We're going to be talking about the corrupt, and I'm going to say it again, the corrupt legal system, especially in New York, with Alvin Bragg. Let's give Alvin applause. I really want to do this. Let's give you applause, Alvin. Oh, yeah, that's right. Alvin, your head's full of crickets. And that's what your case is full of crickets. Let's be honest, Alvin. What you have here is a misdemeanor. It's basically even past the deadline. 2 years. Give me a break. If it's a felony, it's 5 years. You're past it. The statute of limitations is gone. You're creating this BS is what you're doing. I want to talk about this before Jerry talks because I know where Jerry's going to go. But you're creating this BS that everybody's tired of. And literally, let's just talk about it. We got the statute of limitations. You being an attorney, you're not doing a good job. Trust me. After this is all done, you'll be lucky to be a meter maid when you're out, when this is all done. I'm going to say it. Alvin, hey, we're going to give you applause for being a meter maid if you get lucky and get there. I'm just going to say it. So I just wanted to go ahead and say that. Now, I want to go into a couple things. First of all, let's go with this, Jerry. Let's say, first we had Russian collusion, okay? Russian collusion. Well, how'd that get you?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, it's correct. I love the way Jerry says this. Yes, and Russian collusion. What was after that, Jerry?
Oh, we had the Russian collusion.
Yep.
Then there was the Ukraine phone call. Then there was January 6th.
Right.
I mean, it's just been one thing after another.
That's correct.
And actually, they tried to bring the Stormy Daniels thing up again before now, but it just didn't work out.
No. And how many impeachments?
2.
0. The reason why I say 0, and Jerry knows exactly what I mean. We've said it before. They weren't impeachments. They were impeached, but did they go through on the other side of the House and Senate? Only on one side, guys.
Right.
So the Senate did not approve it.
You and I have talked about that before.
Know.
That the impeachment itself is literally just the indictment, which is like what happened today.
Right.
And everybody's so freaked out one way or the other, whether you're for him or against him. They're freaked out about him being indicted, but all an indictment means is that they're going to bring charges. It doesn't mean he's guilty. It means nothing other than the fact that they're going to bring charges, which then have to be, decided upon in court, which, and that was the impeachment. With an impeachment, the House brings the articles of impeachment, decides if there's enough to go forward on, which there never was, but they did anyways. And they wasted, millions and millions of our tax dollars doing it. Right. And then when it got to the Senate, there's 2 things that were wrong. One, the Democrats in the House knew that the Senate was controlled by the Republicans and they weren't going to get a conviction.
Right.
And, the other thing is, too, even if it wasn't controlled by the Democrats, there wasn't anything there to convict upon.
Yep, that's
pretty much where we are with this court case.
Yes. And let's talk about the court case. Let's really talk about this. Okay. So what they've done is when it comes to Alvin Bragg here, what he's done is he wanted this to be prolonged for this all to happen. And the reason why he wants to be prolonged is into next year. Well, guess what? Primaries are next year. They start. He wants to interfere in an election. That's what this is. Guess what? The judge today said, we'll take it to December. Well, what's your thought there, guys? What's your thought, Jerry? They're pushing until December,
Well,
and they put a
there's
gag
a
order?
hearing in December,
A
and then the
hearing.
actual trials in January.
Correct. But
And
go
I
ahead.
mean, and yes, I think that is designed to be right in the mix with the campaign, because what they're hoping to do is they are hoping to, um,
Yeah.
let Trump become the candidate
Yep.
and then try and derail him after he has already become the candidate for the Republican Party, and leave the Republican Party scrambling, at the last second to
Right.
find somebody to replace Trump if he's convicted. But where I think that's,
Right.
probably going to backfire, and I'll throw probably in there
Yeah.
because even though I feel strongly it will, I'll just throw probably in there. Where I think it's probably going to backfire is I think that Trump is going to campaign on what they're doing. And frankly, if I were Donald Trump, I mean, what I would be thinking, and he hasn't said it out loud yet, but
Right.
Joe Biden is the president. Okay. He talks about how, he can beat Trump in an election and he's not scared of Trump. I mean, this whole thing is because he's scared of Trump.
He's terrified.
And if he wasn't scared of Trump, then he would come out and tell Bragg, hey, knock it off till after the election. And after I beat Trump, then you go after him.
Right.
But Biden knows that he's probably not going to beat Trump. And as people are going to agree or disagree with me, but I don't think Biden beat him the first time. And so
Right.
I think Biden knows that. And I think he knows that people are watching now. And I think he knows that the only way that he could beat Trump is to somehow disqualify him or make him look bad enough in the public eye that people will be
Right.
afraid to vote for him.
Right. And, that's why we're talking about all this happening, why the primaries are going on, because this is serious what's going on. Why aren't they just doing this right now, laying all this out and having to wait till December and then January? Why is the purpose of this? Guys, open your frickin' eyes, okay? I'll say it that way.
Well, the
Open
funny
your
thing
eyes.
is that the Trump team
Yes.
loves this because,
Yeah.
like I said, and then he gets to campaign on this. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
That's
and
true.
the Democrats, the reason they want to do it this way and go into the time frame of December and January is because they think that's going to damage Trump's brand. But in reality, it's going to give him more to talk about
Yep.
how corrupt the Democrats are and everything like that. And then,
Yeah.
holy smokes, I shouldn't even say if, but when
Yep.
he is exonerated of all this,
Yes, he will
and
be.
he's in the middle of a campaign and he gets to throw his hands up and say, folks, see what I told you? They just wasted tens of millions of your dollars, tax dollars. And if you think they wasted that on this trial, think what they'll waste if they get elected again. Not to mention the illegal persecution. And notice I said persecution, not prosecution, because that's what they're doing. They're persecuting him.
Oh, yeah. So while you said that, I just want to bring up something. Alvin Bragg shuts down the entire city, downtown pretty much for this, had 38,000 New York.
Hey, Brian,
police.
I don't know if something happened to one of your microphones. I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now? Jerry? We
Yeah,
have this
I
issue.
I can barely hear you.
Yeah, Ken? I don't know what happened.
There you go.
I have no idea. All right, guys, I want to bring this up again. So Alvin Bragg shuts down the entire city, pretty much, of New York, the downtown. All right, 38,000 New York police officers closed down the FDR Drive. Do you know how much it cost? $2 million. I'm sorry, $200 million. Okay? That's what they're saying. So, guess what, New Yorkers? You're paying for a lot. I just read this, by the way, Jerry. What do you think about that?
Well, and that's not even federal funds. That's just
No.
New York money.
That's just New York money. Absolutely
And
crazy.
not only that, but in addition to that,
Yeah.
the inconvenience to New Yorkers as well, because not only were those streets shut down, but in addition to that, the entire courthouse was empty because of what was going on. So that means that somebody that had a traffic court scheduled for that day or whatever, I don't even know if they hold traffic court in that building, but whatever court was scheduled for today in that building had to be postponed, which means if somebody took a day off or whatever they needed to do, now all of a sudden they can't do it. And if somebody wanted to go get married, they can't get married. If they want to go in and file a piece of paper they need to file to start a business or, whatever, they can't do it because the court
Right.
the whole building was shut down because of what they were doing.
That's correct.
And it was all for optics because, I mean, let's even think about this for a second. During COVID, we saw just, all kinds of advancements in online,
right.
Things that could be done online. And I saw all kinds of, court proceedings taking place over video links and everything like that. Are you telling me that as wealthy as Trump is, and with the connections and the technology that he has around him, that they could not have set up a court proceeding, via a video link?
Right.
I mean, and it's like, as far as, you want to do an arraignment of Donald Trump? Great. Send somebody over to Mar-a-Lago with, the fingerprint kit.
Right.
And let them go do the fingerprints or not Mar-a-Lago, I'm sorry, Trump Tower, because Mar-a-Lago is not in New York.
Right,
they couldn't do that.
I was going to say,
But go to Trump Tower, do the fingerprints there, do a video thing between the judge and Trump, and the person that goes over to do the fingerprints could verify that Trump was in New York during the video link and not somewhere else. I mean, there's just so many different ways this could have been handled. And this was all about the Democrats creating a spectacle to be able to show the people.
Oh, they created a spectacle themselves, that's for sure.
Well, and not only that, but they created this spectacle.
I know.
But, here's the funny thing. And this is something that, about probably, I started saying this about a week ago, right after they announced that he was indicted. And as soon as I heard that, I said, everybody was talking about, oh my gosh, the mug shot is going to be terrible. And the putting him in handcuffs and the perp walk and everything like that. And, I said about a week ago when this first came up that I don't see the Secret Service allowing him to be handcuffed. Well, sure enough, that was one of the first things that was taken off the table. Hey, you're not going to touch him physically. And so then the fingerprinting, apparently they wound up giving in because at one point they weren't even going to do that. But today they did say that he was fingerprinted, but I believe it was the electronic live scan, not the ink fingerprint. That way he can walk up, put his hand on it.
Right.
But nobody has to actually touch his hand, to put it on the ink pad. And the other thing is there was no mugshot. And, and why would you need a mugshot? A mugshot is to identify somebody for the proceedings that are going on and make sure you have the right person.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that anybody in the civilized world knows exactly what Donald Trump looks like. And there's enough photographs of him, official and unofficial, that you don't need to take another one today just to take a mugshot.
All right, Jerry, hold on. So I want to mention this, talking about mugshots. So they let a photographer in the courtroom today. Photographer did take a picture where there were two officers right behind Trump holding handcuffs on their side. And the picture made Trump look bad the way that photographer did that. It was intentional. That's the only thing they can get. They're going to, I guarantee they're going to use that picture and paste it all over the place, doing everything they can. And that's what they're going to do. Mark my words on this, guys. You'll see that picture out there constantly. It's crazy right now what's going on. This is uncalled for in America. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is not the America I grew up in. This is the America, like I said a long time ago, you talk about America, it is falling. It is falling because of Joe Biden, the administration, and these radical left people out there. And I'll just say most of the left at this point, because you're falling into you're drinking the Kool-Aid and you're not opening your own eyes and seeing what's going on out there. You need to do that. I've said it before, and that's important. What's your thoughts, Jerry? Go on.
No, I totally agree. And, it really is. It's a weird time in our politics. And, I don't want to, go into the whole, oh, this is so sad. But it is a terrible thing that's happening because it's a complete double standard. And what's happening right now is people on the left and the right are losing their faith in our country and in our system. And rightfully so, because you've got, Hillary Clinton, who a few years ago was 100% guilty of actual crimes.
Right.
And the evidence was made public. And the director of the FBI said that they weren't going to charge her. Well, he's not the person that makes that decision. But for some reason, that was taken as word. So Hillary Clinton, after destroying emails that had been subpoenaed, after destroying BlackBerries that had been subpoenaed, after, she's the one that actually wrote up or paid for the whole Russian collusion thing. And it's like, so, after all those things, not one thing happened to Hillary Clinton. Then you flash forward now, everybody's all worried about Trump and the secret documents that he had in his house.
Right.
Well, then they found a whole bunch of secret documents in Biden's house. And they weren't even locked. At least at Trump's house, they were locked up.
Right.
But at Biden's house, they were in boxes in the garage. And not only were they just in boxes in the garage,
right,
his son Hunter rented the house from him. So Hunter, who, basically is a known drug abuser, was kicked out of the Navy for cocaine use, okay, who lied on a federal firearms license form and still hasn't been prosecuted for that. Right. Who has illegal information on his laptop, and they still haven't gone into that. This guy had access to classified documents that were in Biden's garage. And, oh, by the way, Biden wasn't the president when he took those documents, so he did not have the right to declassify them. So, therefore, he is already guilty of the very same thing that they're trying to say Trump might be guilty of. Right. So you got Biden is guilty on multiple counts. Hunter Biden is guilty on multiple counts, Hillary Clinton, and yet not one of them has any charges pending. And that's where people are losing faith. They're like, you know what? It's so stacked in one direction. And that's why, I really, really hope that Trump gets elected. I think the guy got rooked out of it this time, but one reason I hope he gets elected is I want to see if he just literally cleans house this time. Because last time he tried to play nice with the other kids, and, it wound up stabbing him in the back. But, this time I would hope that if he got elected president, he would walk in and just clean house on day one. You're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. Hey, I have a wife and kids. Well, yeah, you should have thought about that when you decided to be a dishonest scumbag,
Okay, well, Jerry definitely has a lot to say tonight because I didn't get a chance to speak much at all. We should call this the Jerry Show tonight. Oh, apparently I just read, and you guys are seeing me in my camera here. I'm looking down because I'm reading articles at the same time because a lot of stuff's coming out as we're speaking. Apparently Biden lashes out, or let's rephrase this. We got a new name for Biden. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying this, he is called the Ice Cream King. Literally when important things are going on, such as school shootings and stuff, he'd rather eat ice cream instead of addressing the issue. And it took him a while to do that. He was more joking about ice cream and other things, while serious problems for serious people are going on in this country right now. Biden is not a serious person. He's not even out there. He doesn't even know what's going on. So that being said, but you guys, I'm going to have to watch that later on. The Ice Cream King spoke. All right. I thought that was a good name. One of my friends brought that up last week and said that. So,
well, when he came out and said that thing about the chocolate chip ice cream the other day,
yes.
There were so many things wrong with that. The first thing is, he was in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And he was at a women's leadership conference among, women's, entrepreneurs and business owners and things like that. And he comes downstairs, and in front of a bunch of women he's supposed to be honoring says, the only reason I'm here is I was told there was going to be ice cream.
Yes.
Not, hey, I was told there's going to be some really impressive women down here. Or, hey, I heard that there's, the group that invited me was, a really dynamic group of women.
Right.
And it's like, so he comes downstairs and totally, embarrasses the women that he's there to honor. And then at the same time, then just after some kids literally a couple miles away got shot and killed by, this trans person.
Yep.
Then he starts looking out in the group going, wow, those are some good looking children. Whose children are those? So the pervert that goes around groping little girls and sniffing their hair is now standing on the stage talking about somebody's children being good looking.
Right.
And it's like, are you kidding me? This guy literally has no touch with reality.
Yep. We got to talk about this. I've got to bring this up. Let's talk about this because you just brought transgender up, and I know we had a conversation on this. Guys, do you realize I saw an ad, and I'm going to bring this up, and then I'm going to talk. I told Jerry about this ad and a few friends the other day. I was watching TV, and literally I see this young man, probably middle to high school, with a mustache, starting to get puberty, getting the mustache going. And yet they were showing this new wax that you can wax your face. I'm going, what the heck's this about? I'm like, learn to shave like all men do. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching this. Next thing, you see him waxing his lip, all of a sudden transforming into I'll still say a young adult or child, being in middle to high school, into a girl. All right? Now, you got the kids dancing around while he has his multicolor outfit on. And yet the kids are dancing around. They're advertising this stuff to wax your lips and become from a young boy to a young girl. They are pushing this on our children. I saw this ad. So, as you guys know, literally it was only hours after that I heard that Budweiser is now got a transgender male who thinks he is a woman, which cannot be, because you cannot be a woman. You're either a man or a woman. You cannot be a woman. That is a fact. We brought that up before. However, because Budweiser has done this, I will never, ever drink a Budweiser or anything to do with that company again. Now, one thing I do want to say is, guess what? Busch Gardens, I know in Florida, I'm not sure about up here, is, I think Budweiser, I think that company owns them.
Yeah, they do. Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah. Correct. That's what I was looking for. I couldn't remember the name. And they do. So I will never step foot in Busch Gardens ever again. Ever. Because of this. So let's think about this for people that drink Budweiser. I'm going to say it. For Anheuser-Busch out there, do you think you're going to lose money on this? If you think not, you're an idiot. Because guess what? You think all the transgenders are out there drinking Budweiser? No, when I grew up, it was all the good old boys and everybody else out there drinking Budweiser.
Exactly.
And guess what? There's a hell of a lot more of them than transgender. So congratulations. Yes, good job, Budweiser. By the way, I saw a lot of people I saw all kinds of social media sites over the last 2 days where people were throwing their Budweiser out and all this. You think you'd learn from Disney. I guess you didn't do that. But anyway, good luck.
Well, see that, but this is a problem too, because, this is a perfect example of what happens when you take an iconic American company and you sell them to a foreign company.
Yep.
And, Anheuser-Busch did sell to a foreign company that took over. And so, now this is what's happening. But I'm just going to throw this out there for the folks that are feeling a little lost and despondent, over the fact that they can't go buy Budweiser or Bud Light.
Yep.
Folks, the oldest brewery in the United States is a company called Yuengling, Yuengling, Yuengling. They're out of Pennsylvania, and Yuengling's been around since the 1800s, and Yuengling is American-owned. As a matter of fact, it's still family-owned.
Yep.
And Yuengling is American-owned. It is located in America. It's brewed in America by Americans. And so that, actually it's kind of funny because I had started transitioning to them a while back because they're just a better beer than Budweiser. And so now it wasn't really hard for me to make the decision to just completely walk away from anything Anheuser-Busch. But what I was shocked with was when I went online to look up what products were Anheuser-Busch, I was shocked at how many were, and most of them weren't stuff that I drink anyways. But at least now I'm aware of it. So,
well, Jerry, I'm actually glad you finished that statement with he started saying I was transitioning over. I'm like, uh-oh, but then he continued with the beer. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun on this show, guys. We have to have fun. Now, another thing I want to talk about Budweiser. You know what I miss? I miss this a lot. I remember it being in the Super Bowl ads before they kneeled and did all that stuff and kissed the ground, basically. But anyway, I miss the Clydesdales. I missed when they were supporting America. They had the Clydesdale horses. They had the American flag. They had the dog out there, the Dalmatian. I mean, that is what America is about. It's about it. That's part of what it's about. It's about seeing things like that and being happy, not all this other stuff going on that obviously this radical left Joe Biden and all these people are pushing. And Trump is actually wanting this stuff back. That's exactly right. You see Trump up there tonight with the American flags behind him. I love the speech he just had. I saw him on TV. I got to say it. I applaud Trump a lot. And you know what, guys? I'm getting one of the mega hats. It just mega right on it, and I'm going to start wearing it. I'm going to wear it around everywhere just because. Guess what? I also sent something to Jerry today. Jerry saw it, I'm sure. I sent it to him twice accidentally, but he reminds me of that because we have a group text going on with some friends too. But that being said, it shows a picture of Trump. What was it? Behind bars? Is that right? Say what was it? Say it again. Go ahead.
But here's the funny thing.
Go ahead.
The funny thing is that Trump's campaign is the ones that's putting that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're going to make money off of it.
Yeah, they need to sell these T-shirts, and it's funny. These T-shirts are really awesome, and I'm just laughing over it. But like these T-shirts, I mean, they were really good. I mean, it was just talking about Trump's innocent, and that's the main thing. That's what it says. Or it says actually not guilty. It shows the picture of Trump, and it says not guilty, and it shows him with his height and everything behind, like he's getting a mugshot. I love it. Yeah, he's not guilty. Guess what, Jerry? I knew you'll end up with one of those shirts because Jerry always.
Oh, I'm sure stuff. I will. Yeah,
Jerry loves that stuff. Yeah. I do want to say, I've got to say it. I saw something else out there today as well. And I got to say it. There's a new sign going out there. It says, "We support Alvin Bragg, Democrat for jail or prison." That's another sign out there I saw.
Well,
hey,
you know what?
whoever came up with that,
that's
great.
Funny though, but it's also something that needs to be taken into serious consideration because he leaked the information about the indictment, which is a felony in New York.
Absolutely.
And so if they can actually tie that to him, he could be charged. Now, will he be? No, because the system in New York is liberal. Yep. But he should be charged. But there's so many things wrong with Alvin Bragg pressing this anyways. I mean, you know, we all knew that he had gone out and said he ran his campaign. He ran on, "I'm going to get Trump." Yep. But I saw something the other day that blew my mind because I did not realize he had said it. Yep. And that was, "I'm going to get the old rich white man."
Yep.
And if that's not grounds to recuse yourself or, you know, something like that, I got to tell you, if I'm Trump's lawyers, man, that's going to be in the courtroom all the time talking about Alvin Bragg shouldn't be here because, you know, he's racist. You know, if your statement as the district attorney is, "I'm going to get the old rich white man."
Yep.
I mean, my goodness, could you imagine if some white attorney, when Obama was president, said, "I'm going to get the rich black man"? I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered if they were liberal or conservative. If they had said that, they would have just been toast.
Yeah, you know.
And so with all the stuff that Bragg's done, I just can't believe that he's even able to prosecute this case.
Oh, yeah. So also I heard tonight that Alvin Bragg's wife was on Twitter. She was on Twitter a while back ago before all this was happening recently, talking about how much her husband dislikes Trump.
Yeah.
Guess what? Her account's now closed. They stopped it. She stopped it, I think, because of what's going on. So that's right there, more evidence. And
well,
I'm
the judge in the case's wife has done the same thing, and
Right.
his daughter actually works for Kamala Harris.
There you go.
It's like, come on. I mean, you couldn't even make this stuff up. I mean, there's so many connections
Absolutely.
to the Biden campaign. And I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to connect the dots here.
Yeah, it does. For the liberals. And they still won't understand it.
Then let's call Elon Musk.
Oh, Elon Musk. Let's talk about Elon Musk. I was going to bring him up.
Well, we're going to talk rocket scientists, you know.
I know. We're going to talk about it because Elon Musk, I just read what he was saying about a lot of this. He's out there going off on this, saying this is all wrong. He was basically saying that the justice system is corrupt. He said it. I just saw it on his Twitter feed. He said because Chuck Schumer was out there saying, well, we need to make sure everybody has a fair trial. Trump and everybody else. Oh, yeah, right, Schumer. I've been hearing you say a lot of other stuff, too. You want me to pull up an article for the last few days? You've been saying the opposite. Let me tell you something. And all of a sudden, Elon Musk went after Schumer today on it, saying, well, yeah, we need a fair trial for Republicans and Democrats, showing that there's a point where you're not giving Trump a fair trial. That's what Elon Musk was saying out there. I'm telling you, it's out there. Go look it up, guys. I really like Elon Musk for everything he's doing. I got to say, I'm very proud of him. I am a supporter of Elon Musk, and there are some people that I know that don't like him or trust him, but right now, can't say anything bad. He's letting out all the evidence. Look, all the evidence he let out recently of all the government and everything just telling Twitter what to put on and everything else from a couple years back. And look, he buys it. He has all the evidence. He shows it. And the left still doesn't see it because they don't want to see it. All they are is Trump deranged.
Yep.
They are so programmed and conditioned that they can't think for themselves when it comes to this. And that's sad because we need to unify this country and come together and get these people straight. Now, I'm not saying all people on the right are straight either. There's a lot of crazy ones out there. So speaking of that, I do want to bring up something because as soon as I said that, I just heard a name in my head because I know what people are saying. Marjorie Taylor Greene. No, she actually did a great job. You know, let's talk about the Mayor Adams up in New York. Mayor Adams pretty much threatened her almost not to come to New York, trying to keep her from being in New York. And Marjorie Taylor Greene went to New York to peacefully, understand this, liberals, peacefully protest. I'm going to say it that way. Make sure you guys understand. Look it up in the dictionary. But she did that, and it was pretty peaceful. There were some things that went on up there. I saw a few little things. Some of the left attacked a few people, and that's what I did see. But again, people were, it pretty much went pretty peaceful all the way up there, and that was fine. I'm glad that went down the way it did. It could have gotten much worse, especially with them being flooded by a lot of radical left up there.
Yeah, but Eric Adams is an embarrassment. He got up there and
he did.
Hey,
I was going into that.
Now,
you're reading my notes, Jerry.
When I was younger, man, you know what? I did stuff where I went ahead and got my ear pierced. It was the radical thing to do, and so I did that. He gets up there to give his speech today with this big old earring in his ear, and it's like, dude, you're the mayor of one of the largest cities in the world. Present yourself professionally. And then he gets up and says that he thinks that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he didn't use her name actually, I don't think, but
yeah, he did.
He was talking about, oh, he did? Okay. And then, then he was talking about how, they need to stay home because this is the safest big city and their values. And I'm like, what do you mean the safest big city? Crime is up exponentially in your city. And it's because you're the mayor and you're letting things happen. And it's like, and somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene's the last one you need to worry about. But what an embarrassment. And it's like, and I got to tell you something, he can't even believe his own nonsense. I mean, he's got to walk away saying, man, the people that vote for me are the dumbest people in the world because they sit there and listen to me lie. They know I'm lying and they still vote for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Hey, guys, I want to bring up one more thing. It's just going to be very quick on this. I want to talk about, let's talk about Spy Balloon 4. No, I'm kidding. I got to bring it up. Jerry and I talked about it earlier, so don't bring it up. I got to. Guys, the evidence is out there. They just came across saying, guess what? They maneuvered this thing around. China could maneuver this balloon around, just like Jerry and I said in the past. And they actually were doing V8s over these little areas, checking the missile silos and all that out, going through Montana, going across this country. And, I mean, literally they were getting feedback live. They now have evidence this was definitely going on. So guess what? Why didn't Joe Biden take that thing down when he was supposed to? Yeah, my suspicions on that.
Especially over the unpopulated areas.
I have my suspicions on that. Even the governor of Montana said, take this thing down.
Yep.
He was telling Joe Biden back then when it was over, get rid of this thing. Joe Biden's going, I got to go eat my ice cream and think about that. I'm the ice cream king. Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's serious stuff. And we're having a lot of problems with China, and that right now is on Joe Biden's watch, just like everything else that's failing is. He is the worst president probably in the world I've ever seen. I'll say it. I have never seen anything this ridiculous right now. Of course, we know he's not running the country. A lot of people are saying that Obama's running it. I've heard other people saying, oh, no. Clinton's running it. No, No, I keep saying China's got their hands into everything. Obviously, all the connections are there. You want to talk about Russia, and you want to talk about Joe Biden, and you want to talk about China, you want to talk about Joe Biden. The evidence is coming up more and more, and I'm telling you, I am not a fan of him at all. So, that being said, what's your thoughts on that, Jerry?
Yeah, if there's a Clinton running things, it sure isn't Hillary because,
no.
I don't even think she could manage a run in her stockings, let alone running the country. But Bill Clinton, I've seen him over the last few years, and, he's not as sharp as he used to be.
No.
I would have to say that there's probably some sort of consortium of high-level Democrat donors and, political activists.
George
that are
Soros.
probably behind the scenes. Yeah, George Soros for one.
A big one.
Bill Gates.
Another one.
People like that. And is Obama involved? I would have no doubts.
I would say he is involved, yeah.
Yeah, he's involved, but I don't think he's in charge. And one reason I don't think he's in charge is because I don't think he was really in charge when he was president, because he came out of nowhere with no experience and managed to jack things up quite a bit himself.
Right.
And, he was as incompetent. I mean, the one thing that's going to be good for Obama is that Biden's making Obama look like a good president. And so, but I don't think either one of them really was in charge. And to be fair, I mean, as far as on the Republican side, George W. Bush, 47.
Yep.
Or not 47, 42, 43. 43, yeah, because there's 41 and 43, yeah. Yeah, George W. Bush, 43. I personally think that even though he was president, he had executive experience as former governor of Texas and everything like that. I think that he was somewhat in charge, but I think his dad was still calling a few of the shots.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why they put Dick Cheney in as vice president, because Dick Cheney was a contemporary of George H.W. Bush, 41.
Right.
And so, I would have no doubts that, and I'm not saying that George W. didn't make any of his own decisions, but I think some of his decisions were coming from his father via Dick Cheney.
Guys, when I was talking about the spy balloon earlier, I was actually looking at Twitter today, and I was reading things out there on Twitter. We're going to talk about Tom Tillis a little bit, because guess what? Tom Tillis was talking about the spy balloon, what happened and how it maneuvered and all this stuff. And my question to Tom Tillis, I came out and I said, look, you're talking about this now? Why weren't you talking about this when all this was going on? Why didn't you push something to get done? And really, when it came down to it, you guys weren't talking and trying to push this to get this thing shot down, because they could have gone and talked to Joe Biden and start pressuring, the White House and everybody else up there to say, hey, we got to get this thing down. But again, Tom Tillis didn't say a word. Now, I want to say this. He said it today. All of a sudden, afterwards, I did say something at that point. I said, now we've got Trump up in New York going through this right now, and why aren't you speaking about this? Something happening today. Well,
especially to a person that helped you get reelected, Tom Tillis.
True. And I'll say it this
Trump
way.
Trump came and did a rally in North Carolina and supported Tom Tillis and told everybody, hey, you know what? We got to make Tom Tillis another term senator here in North Carolina. And the Trump endorsement carries a lot of weight. And, and then Tillis turned around and stabbed Trump in the back.
Okay. Jerry, hold on. You just took my show over. You read my notes again, dang it.
Yep.
Where's my? Do I have a spy cam in here, Jerry? Did you put a spy cam in my studio here or whatever? I'm like looking all over. Hey, no. That being said, though, seriously, I mean, then I mentioned something about that with President, or I'll still call him President Trump. How about that? With Trump, and then an hour later, guess what? Tom Tillis put something out there all about it. Well, thanks for listening.
Yep. Yeah, that's got. Yeah. He's been in my adult life one of the biggest disappointments of any politician that I once supported, because I did support Tillis in his first run, but after he was anti-Trump and sided with Obama on a bunch of stuff and everything like that, I couldn't support him anymore. And so as a matter of fact, one of the few times ever in my voting career, I did not cast a vote for senator for the state of North Carolina. I couldn't vote for the Democrat, but I also couldn't vote for Tillis. So I filled in all the other blanks. I filled in all the other candidates, but I left the blank for senator, empty, and he still got elected. And I just couldn't be a part of that. I mean, the guy has turned his back on America. He's turned his back on North Carolina. He's turned his back on Trump. Yeah. He's shown that, to him, loyalty is simply a word in the dictionary.
Well, and I brought that up to him today when I was on his Twitter account. I did say, you've lost a lot of voters and a lot of people in this state because of what you've done. And, you talk a big talk, but you don't lead by example. And that's the problem. You can talk a big talk, but not leading by example is the problem. And I say that all the time. I say when it comes to anybody, if you lead by example, then I'm proud of you. If you're not, then you're the part of the problem. All right. So that being said, anything else, guys? Do you want to hear anything else from you, Jerry?
Just two quick things. One,
there he goes again.
The statute of limitations that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. So the misdemeanors are 2 years, and any felonies, real or contrived, are 5 years. And one of the things they're charging them with, the documents from 2017, that's 6 years ago. And so so it's not like they missed it by a couple of weeks or, a month or something like that. We're talking, quite a bit of time. And so that's one thing to throw out there. But the other thing I want to throw out there is, for any of you that are, sitting there watching certain people saying, they support Trump and saying, oh, I'm so glad that guy supports Trump. I think that one of the most brilliant legal minds in our country today is Alan Dershowitz. I'll give him that.
Yep.
I also think that with some of the people that he has defended that he knew were guilty, that really bothers me quite a bit. But the thing is, he is a brilliant legal mind, no bones about it. And I've been very proud of the fact that he has helped defend Trump on a few things. But one of the things that bugs me is lately, and I don't know if he's just saying this so that he doesn't get ostracized at, liberal events, but he keeps talking about how everything that's wrong, that's being done wrong to Trump, that he will still look forward to voting against Trump a third time. You know what? If you're voting against Trump, then you're voting for the people that are doing this to Trump.
Right.
So what that tells me is that, either you're lying about the fact that you're voting against Trump, or you are part of the problem because you're talking about how bad the system is rigged, and then you're going and voting for the people that rig it. So, Alan Dershowitz, come on. Hopefully you're just, lying to the people that you don't want to invite you, that you want to invite you to parties. It's like, but if you truly are out there and you truly think that everything that's going on is a travesty of justice or miscarriage of justice, and then you're going to still vote for the people that have provided all this stuff, then you've got something wrong with you too.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of the left out there right now. I mean, a lot of different congressmen and women out there right now that actually, and I'll say it again, actually are supporting but not coming out with it. They do support things about what Trump's doing. And actually,
Justin Amash came out tonight. Did you see that?
No, I did not. But hold on.
He was the Republican that switched parties, and now he's saying that this is all terrible and shouldn't be happening, and it's wrong, and that what they're doing to Trump is not legal and everything like that. So for him to come out and say that, I was shocked. I mean, if he had sat back and stayed quiet, it wouldn't have surprised me. But for him to come out as a former Republican that switched parties and attacked Trump, for him to come out and defend Trump in this, I was shocked.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's where I was going, but again, I didn't go to there because I didn't hear about that. But I was going to say there are a lot of people on the left that think this is wrong, but they're not coming out because they don't want to damage their party. Let me tell you, this is the problem. It's about America. It's not about the party. I hate saying that, but right now it is about the party on the left because they're screwing up bad, and they're pushing agendas that not going to work for America here. Like I said it before, you keep pushing a line, it comes out fighting. Let's talk about Orange Man. You look at him, doesn't he look like a lion, kind of? You look at the hair, you look at the mane. I mean, it's kind of like that. You push it on him, guess what? He's coming out fighting. And America, we need to do that and stand behind President Trump because he will be our president again. Thank you for the left for doing this because you just put him in office. And when he gets in office, you can look at yourselves in the mirror and applause. That's where I'm going to go with that tonight, Jerry. Anything else?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right.
Just watch what's going on, folks, and know that, basically what's happening is they are attacking Trump because they're scared of him. If they weren't scared of him and they thought they could beat him in an election, they would leave him alone and they wouldn't do this.
Okay, well, tonight was Jerry's show because I was going to speak a little bit, but Jerry actually got a lot of it. He got everything out, and he had a lot on his mind. Jerry speaks a lot, as we know on this show, but Jerry took over the show, which is fine. I think that was great. I didn't get a chance to do too much tonight like I wanted to. But again, I kept looking at the mute button a couple times going, I can just shut Jerry off and take over the show. But you know what? People would not like that because Jerry is well loved by a lot of people out there on this show. So I would have gotten some grief. Hey, Brian, why did you mute Jerry? It's the only way I could do this. Although my wife tries to find ways to mute me, I'm sure at times. Anyway, Jerry, anything else? Keep saying that.
That'll do it.
Guys, we have been on 47 minutes, so usually we go anywhere from half an hour to an hour, so a little long tonight. And guys, just want to thank you. I want to thank our law enforcement for everything you do. Especially, guys, I am proud of the ones in Florida who wore Trump hats. Did you see that? As he was getting on the plane. Did you see all the law enforcement down there, Jerry?
Yep.
They were wearing Make America Great Again. Guess what? That shows you who supports Trump. That shows you most of the law enforcement in this country support Trump over the weak Joe Biden. So, and there goes the end of it all. So, I got a lot of music going on tonight, Jerry. You're not hearing it on that side, but you will when you listen to podcasts. So, yep. All right, guys, just want to thank our law enforcement for everything you guys do. We got to be more serious in this country of what's really going on. This is all joking aside. This is not a joke. I want to say this because it's serious stuff going on. And, guys, we make fun of everybody out there, and yet we're serious about a lot of this stuff going on out there. And yet I look at these social media sites and I watch liberals, and I really do. I'm just going to bring this from the bottom of my heart. Hold on, Jerry. When I look at these social media sites, I see these liberals, and I see them with such hate and anger, and I really do see it. And it's sad because I don't want to see that. I want to see all of us getting along. I want to see everybody coming together. And it's not happening. It's being divided more and more. And I know a lot of you out there going, well, you're dividing it by the show you're putting on. Well, you know what? I'm just pointing the facts of what's going on out there right now. And I'm hoping you guys wake up to see this because some people are waking up. And they're starting to see this stuff going on out there. So, I mean, anyway, anything else, Jerry? Because I know you might jump in on that.
Nope, that's it.
All right. So I do want to thank our law enforcement for everything you guys do out there, guys. We love you. You guys are awesome. I want to thank our first responders for everything you guys are doing out there. I want to thank our military for everything you do out there. There's a lot going on overseas and everywhere else right now that you guys are focused on. Again, we'll keep an eye out because we've talked about China, we've talked about Russia, we've talked about now Saudi Arabia joining sides with Russia and China. That's going to hurt. That's going to be hurting the American dollar. We'll be talking about that in another episode. Guys, we're also going to thank our farmers for everything you guys do, our truck drivers, which I've heard truck drivers saying, hey, we could always stop, driving food and things like this to stores and stuff if they want to play this game. I mean, who knows? You've heard that, I'm sure, Jerry, right?
Absolutely. I'm not a big fan of strikes, but when somebody doesn't appreciate you, best way to show them, the light is to say, well, if you really don't like me and you really don't appreciate it, let's see how you do without me.
Oh, yeah. And my phone is blowing up tonight, guys, because people are texting me like crazy. The whole time I've been sitting here, my phone's going bing, 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 constantly all over the place because people are trying to get this podcast out. I've got people who have asked me, okay, you guys got to do a podcast from now on, do more and more and more. So we're going to try to see what we can do. Jerry and I talked about this earlier today because it's hard for us to do a podcast at times because we work a lot of hours. One friend of ours out there, I'm going to go watch TV. I asked him to be on the show tonight. I'm going to go watch TV. No, I'm going to go listen to music. I'm picking on you, buddy. I'm not even going to say his name, but just got to do this because he said, I want to be on the next show. It's all right. We care for you, buddy. But no, just want to thank everybody for listening. And that's about it. That's all I've got to say. And did I miss anybody, Jerry?
Nope. Got them all.
Got them all. All right, guys. Go say it. Go say it this way. I'm going to change the whole thing tonight. I'm going to say, God bless America. God bless the United States. God bless Donald Trump. We will be voting for you, and you now have my vote and many other people out there. So keep up the good work, Mr. Trump. Keep up everything you're doing. Keep fighting for America. Trump said it. He's not doing this for himself. He's doing it for America and the people of this country because he believes in America and the people of this country. Not like the Ice Cream King. Guys, God bless you. Have a great night and take care, and thanks for listening. Oh, and one thing, go to my website, www.just-markcommonsense.com. Again, www.just-markcommonsense.com. Scroll down to the bottom of my webpage, subscribe, share, and email me as well, please. And you can get on my podcast. You can also get on my YouTube channel, and we'll talk about things, and I will respond back to you. Take care, and thanks for listening. God bless. Take care.